Futurama gave us heroes, villains, and a whole lot of weirdness. But some female characters went beyond annoying. They became downright unbearable.
Admit it, Fry. You're a slob.
From manipulative exes to power-hungry bosses, these are the women fans love to hate. Stench and Stenchability, Season 7, Episode 25. Every show has that one character who's small in size, but massive in irritation. In Futurama, that's Tanya, the tap-dancing menace who managed to even annoy Bender, which is no small feat. In this episode, Bender accidentally discovers his talent for tap dancing after squashing a few bugs under his feet. It's disgusting, but it earns him applause from Randy, who signs him up for a local tap dance competition. Bender, of course, accepts, ready to prove he's the best at everything. But the real trouble begins when he meets his rival, Tanya. At first glance, she looks innocent, a tiny girl with big dreams and a heart problem. She even admits that tap dancing is her favorite thing, even if it's not good for my pacemaker. But Bender, being Bender, fires a bullet during practice, shocking her so badly she bursts into tears. Beneath those ribbons and smiles, she's a pure villain in tap shoes. The competition begins, and after several rounds, Randy finally announces the two finalists.
Here are the finalists for next week's championship, Bender and Tanya!
Bender had a problem with Tanya from the very start. He just couldn't stand her fake smile and sweet act.
I just want to have fun, because dancing is fun, and I like dancing.
So he comes up with a nasty plan to put rusty tacks inside her shoes. When Leela finds out, she is furious. She warns him.
Don't you lay a hand on that angel!
But Bender snaps back.
I've looked into her eyes and seen her soul. She's a monster.
Leela and Fry shake their heads and walk away, calling him insane. But little Tanya had been listening to everything. And guess what? Bender was right all along. She whispers,
The championship's mine, robot.
And suddenly strikes him with a metal rod, breaking his leg. The cold look on her face says it all. This wasn't the first time she'd done something like this. That little girl wasn't dancing for fun. She was dancing for blood. On stage, Tanya says in a low voice to Bender,
Break a leg, Bender. Oops, looks like you already did.
That one line shows how hateful she really is. The competition begins, and they both start tap dancing. Both give tough competition until Bender's leg suddenly breaks and hits Fry in the face. But Bender doesn't give up. He starts dancing on his hands, still trying to win. Then he accidentally hits the spotlight on the roof, gets an electric shock, and falls. Randy announces Tanya as the winner, and she literally steps on Bender to take the award. That cruel move makes everyone realize just how heartless she is. But just when she starts smiling, Tanya suddenly gets a heart attack and falls down. There is a doctor in the audience who tries to give her an electric shock, but she doesn't revive. Then Futurama does what Futurama always does. It turns tragedy into comedy. Bender, in pure Bender fashion, tap dances on Tanya's motionless body, and his steps restart her heart. She springs back to life, ruining the one satisfying ending fans were about to get. In the end, Tanya and Bender team up as street performers, robbing people while dancing. Yep, she literally dies, comes back, and starts committing crimes. If you thought Bender was bad, meet his human version with pigtails. Tanya isn't just annoying, she's unstoppable, unkind, and somehow even more selfish than the robot she partners with. That's why fans couldn't stand her. She's proof that evil doesn't always come in big, scary packages. Sometimes it comes in glittery shoes with a tap beat that just won't stop. After dealing with a dancing nightmare, let's move to a blast from Fry's past. The Cryonic Woman, Season 2, Episode 12. If there's one Futurama character who can turn any reunion into pure misery, it's Michelle Jenkins. Every time she shows up, she manages to ruin Fry's life and makes the audience wish she'd stayed frozen forever. The story begins when Fry and Bender get fired from Planet Express after wrecking half the city during a delivery to the cryogenics lab. Leela gets fired too, even though all she did was forget her keys. While the crew looks for work, Leela accidentally mixes up their career chips. Fry ends up as a cryogenic counselor, and that's where the trouble starts. His new job leads him straight back to his old nightmare, Michelle, his ex-girlfriend from the 20th century. When Michelle wakes up, she tells Fry her life fell apart after leaving him. Her marriage failed, her job vanished, and she froze herself for a fresh start. At first, she acts sweet and regretful, fooling Fry with her sad story. But it doesn't take long before the real Michelle shows up again. Bossy, ungrateful, and full of complaints. She insults the future, mocks the people, and worst of all, keeps blaming Fry for everything that goes wrong.
But your friends are a bunch of freaks. This world is horrible.
She can't stand the 31st century, so she convinces Fry to escape with her. Manipulative as ever, she tells him to prove his love by freezing themselves again. Fry gives in, and the two wake up in what looks like the year 4000. A ruined wasteland filled with toxic air and dangerous kids. Even then, Michelle does nothing to help. She orders Fry around like a servant, calling him lazy and useless when he tries to build a small shelter. Soon, they're captured by a gang of armed children, led by a kid named Butch. Fry tries to reason with them, but Michelle mocks him in front of everyone. She demands he act like a leader and challenges Butch to a death-boarding match, just to impress her. Fry risks his life in the fight, but Michelle doesn't care. She doesn't even cheer for him. She just calls him a loser.
My mother always said you were a loser, Fry. Now get out there and prove her wrong.
Even when he's getting battered for her sake. When Fry wins, the truth hits. The children are just playing, and their mom shows up to take them home. Michelle keeps mocking Fry, saying he's a loser in every century.
That's because you're a loser. You were a loser in the year 2000 and you're a loser in the year 4000.
Fry finally stands up for himself, saying he had everything he wanted in the year 3000.
Yeah, but in the year 3000, I had it all. Several friends, a low-paying job, a bed in a robot's closet.
Michelle snaps back,
Quit standing up for yourself, Fry.
proving once again she's as toxic as ever. When Fry walks away, it feels like freedom. Later, Leela and the crew find him and reveal the truth. It's not the year 4000. He and Michelle were only frozen for 2 days, and the wasteland is actually just Los Angeles in the year 3000. And to make things worse, Michelle has already moved on. She drives by in a limo with another man, Paulie Shaw, not even sparing Fry a glance. Michelle earns her place as one of Futurama's most hated female characters because she turns every scene into chaos. She's not funny, kind, or even likable. She's controlling, selfish, and endlessly complaining. Instead of caring about Fry, she uses him, insults him, and blames him for everything. Her attitude makes every moment feel exhausting, and fans can't stand how she drags the story down with her endless negativity. From one manipulative woman to the ultimate mastermind, our next hated figure is simply known as Mom. Mother's Day, Season 2, Episode 14. If there's one woman in Futurama who's impossible to like, it's Mom. Cold, cruel, and manipulative. She's the kind of person who could ruin the whole planet and still blame someone else for it. And in this episode, she actually does. It's Mother's Day, the one day when robots everywhere celebrate Mom, the head of Mom's friendly robot company. Robots send her gifts, flowers, and messages, treating her like some kind of saint. But the joke's on them. Mom hates Mother's Day. She doesn't smile or say thank you.
No wonder you love Mother's Day.
I hate Mother's Day, you dribbling pukes!
Instead, she gets angry and grumbles while the robots keep saying how much they love her. When she finally steps outside to address her adoring metal fans, she doesn't thank them. She turns into a full-blown supervillain. Right there, she announces that she wants to be Supreme Overlord of Earth.
Before I die, I'd like to be Supreme Overlord of Earth.
Then, with a single press of her hidden control, she orders every robot on the planet to rebel and screams, "Let the bloodbath begin."
Let the bloodbath begin!
It's the moment everyone realizes Mom doesn't want love. She wants power, chaos, and everyone to suffer for it. Instantly, machines stop obeying humans. Robots tear apart cities, destroy property, and send the world into chaos. And Mom, she just watches it all with the happiest grin she's ever had. Her sons ask why she's doing this, and her answer is as ridiculous as it is terrifying. Because Mother's Day puts me in a bad mood.
I guess Mother's Day just puts me in a bad mood.
That's it. The entire Earth burns because she's cranky. But deep down, it's not really about the holiday. It's about her broken heart. She's still angry at Professor Farnsworth, the man she once loved and lost decades ago. Her sons realize the only way to stop the destruction is to make Mom happy again. So they go to Farnsworth and beg him to charm her long enough to steal the robot control remote, which for some reason she keeps tucked inside her bra.
She commands them with the remote control she keeps in her bra.
Only Mom would turn world domination into something that uncomfortable. They send Farnsworth to her old cabin, hoping he can calm her down. At first, Mom slams the door on him, shouting insults like it's a sport. But when he brings her daffodils, her favorite flowers from 70 years ago, her anger melts for a moment. The two start talking, then arguing, and before long, yelling turns into kissing. Leave it to Mom to make saving the world look like the worst date ever. While the crew waits outside, Mom and Farnsworth's reunion gets out of control. Robots attack, and when the others rush in, they find the horrifying sight of Mom and the professor tangled in a makeout session. Even in the middle of chaos, Mom keeps control. She finally tells them to find her bra, the one holding the remote to stop the rebellion. Everyone scrambles as robots close in. The bra spins on a ceiling fan, out of reach. Bender hesitates until he learns Robot Paradise doesn't serve alcohol. That's enough motivation. He joins in, grabs the bra and hands it over. Mom presses the button, ending the rebellion in an instant, and finally the Earth is saved. Mom is one of Futurama's most hated female characters for a reason. She's selfish, petty, and treats destruction like a hobby. Whether it's running a robot empire or breaking hearts, she makes sure everyone else suffers for her bad mood. And in this episode, she proves that the scariest word in the universe isn't doom or apocalypse. It's Mom. Finally, from robot armies to office orders, the next woman proves paperwork can be pure evil. Morgan Proctor. How Hermes requisitioned his groove back. Season 2, Episode 11. Morgan Proctor easily ranks among Futurama's most hated women. Cold, bossy, and proud of it. She turns every room into a nightmare. The story begins with Hermes feeling proud and excited for his upcoming inspection. He's sure he'll finally get promoted by the central bureaucracy. But when Leela hosts a poker game at the office, Bender, as usual, cheats. The fight that follows destroys Hermes' office. Papers flying, furniture broken. When Hermes walks in, his dream of promotion disappears in seconds. The next day, Morgan Proctor walks through the door. She's dressed like she owns the place and talks like everyone else is beneath her. Hermes, crushed and hopeless, climbs to the top of the building to jump. But even then, Morgan shows no emotion. She coldly says,
If you complete your death transaction without filing a suicide and/or falling accident permit, you will be posthumously demoted.
Who says that to someone ready to jump? Only Morgan. She cancels Hermes' promotion and puts him on paid vacation, which sounds nice until you realize it's just forced removal. With Hermes gone, she gives herself his job and immediately starts acting like a dictator. She questions every worker, yells at them for the smallest mistake, and even searches their lockers. When she opens Fry's, his junk spills everywhere, but instead of being disgusted, she gets weirdly interested. Moments later, she's kissing him. Yeah, kissing Fry, the man who doesn't even wash his socks.
Now listen, you filthy pig. No one can know about us.
Morgan hides their relationship and promotes Fry just to keep him close, while treating everyone else like trash. She's rude to Leela, arrogant to Bender, and acts like she's above every rule except her own. When Bender catches her secret, she shows her true colors.
Now I get it. Now the pieces are falling into place.
Without a moment's hesitation, she downloads Bender's brain onto a floppy disk and ships it away like it's just another document. That's Morgan. Cruel, heartless, and proud of it. Later, Fry finally snaps and yells that he's sick of her controlling everything. Morgan doesn't care. She screams,
Dirty boy! Dirty boy!
It's not romantic, it's creepy and gross. When the crew goes to the central bureaucracy to rescue Bender's brain, Morgan shows up again, smirking like she's untouchable. But when Hermes returns and catches her mistake, a missing stamp on her prom papers, her perfect image falls apart. Her punishment is immediate, and she's dragged away, humiliated by her own system. Morgan Proctor is one of Futurama's most hated female characters because she's everything the crew and the audience can't stand. She's not disliked because she's mean, she's hated because she takes pleasure in it. Even among Futurama's villains, Morgan stands out as the one who makes order feel worse than chaos. So there you have it. From dancing disasters to corporate tyrants, these women turned Futurama's funniest moments into pure chaos. They've lied, cheated, manipulated, and nearly destroyed everything around them, all while acting like they did nothing wrong. Did we miss a character who made your blood boil? Tell us in the comments below. And if you agree these are the most hated women in Futurama, hit like, share with your fellow fans, and subscribe for more trips through the weird, wild, and wonderfully awful world of animated villains.